Yeah, assalamu alaikum. This is Clifton Raheem Bradley, and you know what? I have a phenomenal artist coming on, and what I'm going to do is you should be here any minute, and you're looking at the Underground Railroad podcast, and we're going to start doing more and more and more shows. But it's just not going to be about Islam. It's going to be about music. It's going to be about New World Order, about President Donald Trump, Joe Biden. We're going to talk about everything, okay? And we're always looking for guests. We're always looking for guests, and hopefully guests that will help us out, you know, with the sponsorship. And we just talk about everything. And I'm so overwhelmed with the support that people have given me. And the live stream, I think it takes time to build up your live stream, and that's what I'm going to work on. I'm going to work on building up my live stream audience, and I'm going to look on getting phenomenal guests on like Mr. Sid Yiddish. He is a artist. He's an artist. He's a poet. Okay, and also he's a teacher and he loves improv. We're going to find out what improv is. What is improv? Okay, he is here. Okay, I'm going to put him in. And Mr. Sid, how are you doing, sir?
I am doing great. Hello out there in Underground Railroad land.
Okay. You know, me and Mr. Sid, we've been knowing each other for a long time, but you know what? We've never done anything socially. And Mr. Sid Yiddish, you know what? He is a poet, he's a musician, okay, and he does improv, and he started in 1980, and we're gonna get down to get information about him. You know what? I want to thank you for accepting the invitation to come on the Underground Railroad podcast. So, brother,
Oh,
tell
you're
us a little
welcome.
something about yourself, my brother.
Well, you're right about all those things that I've done. Plus, I'm a throat singer,
Hmm.
and I have a band which I conduct called Sid Yiddish and his Candy Store Henchmen, and we've been around for 14 years. You might say I'm like a modern day Renaissance man.
Yes, yes. And you know, I like to ask you something when we talk about this. First of all, you're in the Windy City. Okay, you are in the Windy City of Chicago. And you
Yep.
know what? Can you be booked? Do you have an agent? Who do they get in contact with you for you to do a performance? And what type of music do you do?
Music. Well, we're like improvisation, free jazz, noise, unmusic, um, other variety. I guess that's the best way to describe us.
Hmm.
And usually it's me that they will seek out when we book a show.
Hmm. And do you have an agent where they can get in contact with your agent or get in contact with you directly?
No, just me directly. I have
Oh,
no agent.
not yet. No.
No, well, not yet. I'm looking for one. I've been looking for one for a long time, but
Okay, and I want to ask you what motivated you? How did you become interested in doing? I see. First, you was interested in poetry. What was it about poetry that really interested you to say, "Damn, you know what?" That's kind of how you got the bug, and it's bug is the wrong word, but that's how you got. What was it about poetry that?
and poetry is a form of expression, and especially for myself.
Mhm.
So it was a way to, kind of corral my emotions into, sort of a bit of like a, more than a sentence, um, and just write it down. It's just to sort of get my feelings out there,
Yeah.
either on paper or as these days is electronically. So um, we've kind of come a long way, and I've come a long way too. I mean, I started writing poetry at age 12, so um, And I've only had one creative, well, maybe two creative writing classes, and that's it. I'm natural born, I guess.
Yeah, I mean the poetry that you have, are they copywritten? Are you just give it away for free? Do you have a book that you're promoting on poetry?
Um, I do have two chapbooks. One is called Shortness of Breath, and the
Okay.
other one is called Our Love for Liverpool. And that one I co-wrote with my mom, and I guess I co-published, I guess, with my mom. And I'm currently working on a new book. It is called Wherever the Dirt Is, There I'll Be. Selected interviews
Hmm.
and poetry, and that is on Roadside Press. I don't know when it's going to be finished. I have 4 to 5 interviews left to go.
Okay. And you know what? For the people that are listening to this broadcast, what I would do is once he gives me those website links, I will put that in the description. And do you have any books on Amazon? Because Amazon is just a big boy of the block. Amazon.
Um, I do not at this
Now,
point. We do. I'll tell you what though. I've got CDs though, and I believe those are on Amazon. And CDs are of my band. So the first one is called Until Further Notice. Every Day Feels Like Sunday,
hmm.
and the other one's called Hard Boiled Eggs.
Oh wow. Now, that's an interesting name. What is hard boiled egg all about? And can you give us one of your poems?
I can do well. Hard Boiled Eggs, just the title of the album, and it also means a lot of other sort of. Uh, there's a lot of messages in there. Hard Boiled Eggs is kind of about my life and the and sort of the way I've kind of pursued my art.
Hmm.
And I'm a bit of a hard-boiled nut. Not nut, but I guess I am. I guess I am. Most people are, I think, in some form or another. Um, and it just means a lot of things. It can mean a lot of things. A lot of different things to a lot of different people who actually listen to us.
Hmm.
Um, I never tell an audience what to think.
Yes.
They just think on their own. That's what I want.
Hmm.
And explaining what stuff means just different interpretive meanings. That's all it means.
Hmm.
Yes, I'll do a poem.
Okay.
Um,
I can't wait. Go ahead.
okay, so this is a pretty short one,
Okay.
and this one goes. I guess it's a haiku of mine.
Okay.
Um, Bedroom slippers wrapped around my bunions. You keep me warm. That's it.
Well, that's a good. I mean, that's true, and that's good. That's good. And you know what? Are there any particular poets that you would say like was a model that inspired you to even get into poetry? What triggered you to get into poetry?
Well, I honestly, I don't know. I don't know. It's just one of those things that something that I, honestly I don't know. Emily Dickinson was an early influence of mine.
Yes.
Lyrics wise, I would say Woody Guthrie and Bob Dylan. Now, Bob Dylan says he's not a poet, but we know otherwise.
Everybody must get stoned. I know.
Well, that's if that's the one you can relate to. That's fine. I relate to so many other ones, but you know, uh, but that one I'll take, I suppose.
Yes, and you know when you talk about improv, there's some people out there that may not know what improv is. And did you go to the? I think they have a Chicago improv.
Well, but that's more like sketch. That's more like sketch comedy. Like,
Yes.
but improvisation musically.
Hmm.
So improvisation just means like I make it up on the spot. I make the music up on the spot through conducting. I conduct using my hands and my feet and my face. So I have about between 75 and 100 gestures that I use
Yes.
every time I perform. So I conduct using my hands.
Yes.
As I say, my hands, my feet, and my face.
Let me see one. Let me with your
Well,
hand.
okay, I'm gonna give
You see-
I'm gonna give one now. Don't take offense. I'm gonna ask you that right now. Do
No,
not
I'm
take
not gonna.
offense.
No,
But
I'm
there's this one. There's this one, which is high E, and this one means singing to your instrument.
okay.
Now we know it means other stuff, but these are everyday gestures. If I can do, let me see. I'm gonna put the phone down here, so I'm gonna do this.
Okay.
This means downbeat. Um, this one, let me think. Let me see if I can do it this way. Let me see if I can do it this right. Okay, so this is like uh, like this. It just means sort of like do what you like. If I say dial, dial, dial to the band, that means just perform chaotically. You know, just really abuse your music, abuse your sound. Like get into it,
Hmm.
get
Yeah.
loud, get
Yes.
crazy, get chaotic.
Yes. Yes. And let me say something. When you go out there to the crowd, like some performers say every crowd is different, and I never really understand it. Do they like all respond to the same thing, or do you have to change up a little with each crowd?
Well, yes, it does. Everything changes.
Explain that.
I'm not afraid to walk out into the crowd and bring a volunteer in or have somebody help me out or go up and ask them a question. Like we have a composition called "Where's Walgreens,"
Hmm.
and that's the premise of it. Because of the way it started was I was in another band called Torque Monks,
Hmm.
and this woman came in to the venue where we were at, and she came in and she asked me, "Hey, do you know where Walgreens is?" And I'm like,
Yes.
God, that's just crazy. So I did. I ended up singing her the response, and that's how that composition was born.
Hmm. You have some people that do improv, and you know what? Before the show gets started, they dress up as something else and just go out into the crowd, just get a feel for the people. Do you do that or not really?
No, I'm constantly wearing this costume. I
Okay.
wear my my mask and my hat with the pious curls, and usually my kittle, which
Mhm.
is the what an Orthodox Jewish Orthodox man would wear. He gets married in it, and he gets
Yeah.
buried in it as well.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. When you talk about, I see by reading your bio that you have started different groups. So I imagine you started and you're the manager, but your main group is the Candy Store Henchmen. Can you tell us what type of music the Candy Store Henchmen play, and about maybe you want to share a story about the group and maybe something that happened that you can tell us.
Yeah, I'll again, we do free jazz improvisation, which means music on the spot. Noise, because that's what we sure sound like. We sound like noise, like the kind of noise you would not want to hear at 2 in the morning, which
Mhm.
we played shows at 2 in the morning. Um, and generally, it's very chaotic. But in my eyes, the way I conduct, I'm very serious about it. I mean, there's little edges, tinges of theatrical, theatrical comedy, punk,
Mhm.
um, just stuff that you wouldn't. If you were to compare us, like because we're improvisation, I guess the best way to look at us would be like Spike Jones. Although Spike Jones and his City Slickers were, they did split second timing, which is not
Yes.
necessarily what I do, but sometimes it feels like that.
Mm.
Um, okay, so you want me to relate? Well, we've had a few shows where we've had dogs join in on the choruses.
Yes.
The first one was a German Shepherd, and the next one was a Dachshund.
Hmm.
Sometime a couple years later. I mean,
Yes.
we played. We were actually when I took a unit to America's Got Talent in 2013,
Yes.
um, and another time when I was doing a background scene with William H. Macy of Shameless fame.
Hmm.
Um, every time, so we had to do every time we had to take photographs, still
Yes.
photographies, to promote the show, promote that particular episode. Well, um, he kept giving the finger to the camera, right? And every
Mhm.
time he did that, I said, "Hi, E." And he said, "Well, what does that mean?" So I explained to him about my band, and I told him. And the next time I saw him, I gave him a copy of his, of one of our CDs.
Mhm.
Um, I got kicked off the set
Oh
that
wow.
day, but that was okay. That was okay. At least we got it to him, and that's the most important thing.
Mhm.
Um, so we have a fan. We have at least one fan in Hollywood,
Mhm.
which isn't too bad.
Mhm. Well, you know what? Who are some of the groups that motivated you in your group? I mean, you know what? Most people have like a little somebody that they like that inspired them. You know,
Well,
I think about for me, it's like the Earth, Wind, and Fire. But who for you that inspired you that you really enjoy listening to, and why?
currently, Sun Ra. And I love Sun Ra because he's very. We're similar to him in that vein of what he does, that sort of freestyle kind of playing. Sun Ra and John Cage also very experimental and a big influence on my work.
Hmm.
Frank Zappa is another influence of mine.
Yes.
And punk wise, it can run from an chaotic state.
Hmm.
It can run from Gigi Allen to say, oh, I don't know, like the Dead Kennedys maybe, but more in a chaotic sort of form.
Hmm.
Um, I've been listening to lately a lot of Charlie Parker and Dizzy Gillespie, and um, it just depends. I've been catching I've been catching up on all the CDs that have come in. What I want to say is though, I don't have a laundry list of who I listen to. It's
Yes.
just whatever comes to me. I say that most sincerely. I have in the neighborhood of something like 4 to 5 thousand CDs. So
Wow.
I listen to a lot of music,
Wow.
and the music I listen to can be the noise outside that a car is giving out, or a bird in the morning,
Hmm.
or a jetliner, or something I'm hearing at the gym. Plus regular music. So I listen to a lot of different things. I'm very open minded when it comes to music.
You know, when we talk about that, so you say you have CDs, you don't digitize them and put them on like external hard drives. You still get CDs.
Well, I still love CDs. I love my CDs.
Hmm.
I have a player, but I also, well, I listen to Spotify too. And
Hmm.
that on was through my Bluetooth.
Hmm.
And that's really it. When I'm at the gym, I listen to that, and other places I listen to it too. But I mean, when I'm walking and stuff. But I love my CDs, man. You are not. I guess the day I die is when everybody fights over what they get from me. My CDs. That. I mean, but I mean, I mean, the stuff I have. I mean, I've got over. I probably have at least 400 to 500 jazz CDs. I mean, that's alone. That's a pretty big mark. Um, and I'm not tired of my CDs. I've never been tired of my CDs.
I mean, you know something is. A lot of people go to digital, but I imagine it's a different feel when you actually have that intellectual property in your hands, though, and
Oh, I
playing
love it. I absolutely love them.
it.
I love them. I mean, I got rid of my turntable 30 years ago, and actually, somebody gave me a birthday present this year. What do you know? I got a record. You know, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but probably listen to it eventually on somebody's turntable.
And see, what is your telephone number? How people can get in contact? Because I'm encouraging people. You know what? He's on the Underground Railroad podcast, but I'm encouraging people that you should have him on your show because he has something to say. What is your telephone number and your
No,
email?
it's 847-644-2857. And I will say this: if you really want me, call me. If you don't get me, leave a voicemail message. I promise I will get back to you. Also, if you're going to spam me, you'll go right to the spam box. That's all I have to tell you.
And you know what? And I see that you are a teacher too. Can you? tell what that involves and what motivated you to be a teacher, and how can a person become one of your students?
Well, um, you know, I'm working actually on on an exercise program right now. I've been working on it for about 2 years,
Yes.
um, and it's a combination of improvisation. I will conduct somebody in order to exercise the right way, and then also it's called improvisation,
Okay.
and I usually play music that uh, makes someone feel pretty involved. And trust me, the people I have tested this on,
Mhm.
they love it. They absolutely love it. So I've been working on this since the pandemic. So and again, what the other question? I'm sorry.
Well, when you talk about teaching, do you teach them online? So therefore, no matter what country they're in, you have the ability to teach them
Yes, I can teach
whether
them
they're
online and in person too. If they're in the immediate Chicago area or Midwest, I can do that too. Teach them over Skype or Facebook. Whatever the case is, the cause is, I'm there. Or and of course, if they want to send for me, they can do that too.
yes. Okay. And you know what? Do you in Chicago, you know where he is in Chicago, do you have a specific location in Chicago or you just meet at random at certain
Just at random. I don't have a specific place, but remember there was that. You're old enough to remember this, but you remember the TV show Paladin?
I don't remember that one.
Okay,
Uh-uh.
well, he had he had this phrase was "Have gun, will travel."
Yeah,
Same
now I
thing with me.
remember that. Yes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah, of course. So I mean, I have my thing, and I'll travel. I have my suitcase. I'll travel.
You put out your card and say, "Have God, we'll try." I like that.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right.
But I think the neat thing for the audience is that you know what, that no matter where they are in the world, you can teach them. Okay. And I think that is beautiful. Well, I'm interested to know, is it who are some of the band members that are in your group called Candy Store Henchmen? And where did you get that name from? I like that.
Well, when I toured in 2010, I went to a place in Copenhagen. Venue was called they were called Candy Store Operators. So I thought that was kind of a cool thing. So I took it from there. And Henchman was sort of like a upper grabs kind of name. We were originally called Sid Yiddish and his Crack House Minions.
Ah,
Um, yeah, I figured you would. Uh, and but I spelled Crack House. So it was Krackhaus,
mm-hmm,
and Minions like Minyans, like a minion,
mm-hmm.
Um, but then I changed it to Henchman just because it sounds better. And what's funny is now that well, in Trump's first administration, I'm sure we'll hear it in the second one.
Yes.
Often heard the word henchman. It seems to fit in.
Yeah.
And I kind of like it.
I love it.
So some of the members, we have example. There's Doctor Nothing, and he plays the Glockenspiel.
Yeah. What is a
And
guap? I don't know the guap.
Glockenspiel is like a xylophone,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's just something smaller, and you play it with rubber mallets.
Mhm.
And then there is Ernest Cyborgnine, and he is our electronics guy. We have another electronics guy by the name of Huge Cube,
I guess.
and I'm trying to think. And then we have a guy who plays about 50 different instruments, and he goes by Maestro Phil. I kid you not. He plays about 20 to 30 harmonicas.
Wow.
This guy is really seasoned. And let me think. I
Beautiful.
know I am. Oh, and then we have another guy. His name is, let me think. It is Daphius Edgar Toilet Seat, and he is our drummer.
Daphius. Wow. What's his
Da,
name? Okay.
you know what? The thing is, I usually let them choose their own names.
Yes.
There's only
Yes.
been one or two guys that
Yes.
in the past where we've given them names.
Hmm. And have you Did you go in any type of college to take anything theatrical? Or this is just a natural ability.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, it is a bit of natural ability, but I did go to Columbia
Oh,
in Chicago. My master's is in interdisciplinary arts, media and technology.
wow, man. You know what? You know what's happening. You talk to people and you know what you never know that. But I guess I never knew because I never asked. Wow, Columbia School of Broadcasting. That is beautiful. Who's your favorite teacher at Columbia School of Broadcasting and why?
Well, no, we're talking about Columbia College downtown.
Oh, okay. Who's your favorite teacher and why?
Well, okay. Well, see, I did my undergrad there too. I finished there. I got a BA in print journalism. So I'd say that the two most probably would be the late Dr. Les Brownlee.
Yes.
Great man. That guy made me sweat all the time. I remember writing papers for him, and it would never be good enough, and he'd send it back to me 3 times, and
It's good.
it was yeah. He made me a good journalist,
Yeah.
and the other guy, his name is Brian Sainer. He's a performer in town, and he was my movement professor
Mhm.
at Columbia,
Wow,
and he
man.
really showed me a lot of things.
Mhm.
Movement is not just dance; it's movement within your body and moving your body around.
Mhm. That's good, man. You actually have a degree in it. I'm trying to finish something that Kennedy King, um, myself, in terms of media. And you know what? And what when we talk about male singers and female singers, who are people that you listen to? I'm talking about lead male singers and lead female singers that you
Mm.
really enjoy.
Well, I like well, for an improv guy, or a noise guy, I still love the Beatles. I'm not going to deny that. They are my number one go-tos. Paul McCartney, John Lennon, George Harrison,
Yeah,
even Ringo. Um, Let me think. I like Billy Eckstein,
yeah.
and trying to think. Sun Ra. Well, Sun Ra doesn't sing really. I should make that's. I'll strike that. Um, Yoko Ono. I like her early stuff anyway.
Yes, yes.
She's a good screamer. I have to say that much. I can actually do. I'm actually at one point or another. I was a male Yoko Ono impersonator.
Wow, okay.
I do have an album. I've got a tributary album called Fly
What's-
Having Sex,
Is
which
it
is
on?
on video.
Is it on Amazon?
That should be on Amazon.
Okay,
It's on Amazon or Bandcamp, I believe. It's on
okay,
Bandcamp.
okay.
Um, and I'm trying to think. Uh, we're also on CD Baby. Our two Henchmen albums are on CD Baby.
Okay, okay. And,
Um,
and when when you send me the links, you know what, I encourage people to go, to support him and to buy his property, his intellectual property. Go ahead, I'm listening.
okay. Um, I like Cab Calloway.
Hmm.
Um, I like geez. Um, I really like early Cab Calloway. Al Jolson, of course.
Hmm.
Um, um, Trying to think. I like the Butthole Surfers. You know,
Hmm.
um, I, I, I don't know because I like
Yeah,
so many folks. The Dead Milkmen.
I
I
never heard
absolutely.
of that. Wow, wow. Okay, okay.
Well, that's okay.
Yes, yes.
Uh,
And I'm surprised. You know what surprised? I thought you was gonna say something like Michael Jackson's and Prince, but everybody has their own like stuff. I love Michael Jackson.
well, what's not to like about Michael Jackson? I mean, what's not to like about Prince? I mean, but I just I'm a bit old school when it comes to vocalizations, and as I say, I don't have a laundry list. I've got things that just come up in my mind, and that's how it works.
Let me ask you, so as you as being a performer and an artist, I like to ask you, what stars struggle to get where they are and they make it? Why? why do, like Michael Jackson, for example, why do they start taking drugs and things like that? And they have made it to the very peak of the apex. I'm talking about from stories that you have heard within your people within your field.
Well,
Why?
I know why. I think it's just because whatever's going on in their minds. I think that most artists, ha- it's not an exaggeration, have a mental illness of one type or another. What I mean by that is, depression or anxiety or something like that. And what makes them go to do drugs? Maybe because they're there and they're readily available and as we both know, drugs are addicting and they can kill you and or ruin your career, get pretty close to it. I mean, another singer that I really love is Billie Holiday, and we both know
Yeah.
that she really wrecked her career with drugs. I mean, Jack Kerouac did too, but with alcohol, which is just as addicting. And
It would seem to me, brother said, once you reach the apex of your the highest height you can get in your for profession, it would seem like but you explaining it. Go ahead.
well, I was going to say that the one thing when you get, I don't know, when you get to the top, whatever your top is,
Yeah.
whether it's whatever achieving fame just for a little bit, because fame is fleeting. I mean, there's just people that are want to give you things. They throw themselves at you. They because you've been on television, which is like a medium of one thing or another to them, and they
Yeah.
want to get there. So they want a piece of you. They want to touch you in some way or another. And if drugs and alcohol is the way to go, then that's what some people do. They're weak. We're human. We're weak.
I agree with that. I agree with that, man. Because that I mean, man, like there was a singer called Natalie Cole, and you know what, she got strung out, man, and I just couldn't believe it. That was Nat King Cole's daughter,
Yeah,
Natalie.
well, he wasn't setting a very good example either. He was carrying on an affair, a secret affair.
Yeah, yeah, I know a lot of them. And you know what, man? What? So what's on the radar? What are you? What are the plans for the henchmen in the future?
Well,
Because
we have.
people will be looking at this in the past. I'm looking at our past and looking at this in the future. What are your plans for the future for your group?
Well, we are playing on WZRD on Thursday, December 26th at 10 p.m. That is 88.3 FM, freeform station, the good old wizard. It's streaming live at wzrdchicago.org.
Hmm.
And then I've got some plans to possibly record a new album sometime in 2025. I think it's time. Do I have a title yet? No, of course not. But maybe I'll name it after my many toys I have in my new studio space.
Yeah.
Um, but as I say, I'm working on the book. I've got plans for touring after that. I mean, myself, not. It's hard to take a band on tour. Trust me.
Hmm.
It is. I've been with different units to Indianapolis and up to Milwaukee as well, and it's not hard. It's just it's difficult because some of them do work, and and unlike us, I
Hmm.
would almost say I don't work, but I have a lot of other things going on. I
Hmm.
would just say so that's the future right now. In 2025, we will definitely be on WZRD again. We've got another show on February 13th. Same everything, except it's going to be a special show because it'll be centered around Valentine's Day, and I've got something up my sleeve for that.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
I'm
Go ahead.
sorry, I meant to say one other thing. The show that we're doing on the 26th of December is our annual holiday show called "Wreck the Halls with Boughs of Henchmen." It's the eighth annual, and I started it because there was a DJ at WZRD who said, "Well, you cannot murder the classic Christmas songs." And all I said was, "Oh yeah, he hasn't met the henchman yet."
Hey, let me ask you something. You have been on WGN. That is a television station that goes
No,
worldwide.
radio, WGN radio.
Okay, WGN, and you've been on TMZ. and
Yes.
everything. What was that experience like, and how did you get asked to come on these stations?
Well, TMZ. I took it. I was in LA back in 2019. Or maybe was it 2018? It was 2018. I'm sorry. So LA in 2018, and just out there to visit friends and stuff. I took a lot of tours. Well, one of them was TMZ, and at the end they ask you, "Oh, hey, do you want to come on the show? Just fill out the card and da da da
Yeah,
da." And I'm thinking, yeah, right. They're not going to call me.
yeah.
And sure enough, 2 weeks later they called me, and the year of 2018, I was on 3 times. So I can call myself a social commentator.
Wow, TMZ and WGN can't help that. That is tremendous. But you have been overseas too, touring. What is the experience of going overseas and taking your band
Um,
over
Denmark, to be honest, is like my fan base is in Denmark. I'm not saying they don't like me here, but over there it's a little stronger.
there? Okay.
Um, we're a bit of a niche, I suppose you might say.
Yes.
And I'd say that over there it's been fun. I mean, the first time was great. It was absolutely great. The second time, my sophomore adventure, not so great. But the third tour, summer
Yes.
of 2018, was wild. I mean, it was wild. I was doing things like I was representing myself. I threw an American flag on my back, and I got threatened by so many Danes saying, "We're gonna rip the flag off you and burn it in front of
Oh,
you." And I ran into Nazis out there, and
yes.
yeah, and but it was wild. I mean, it was wild. It was just people were grabbing at me, and people. I had heavy security literally at one venue because there were people there that because they thought since I was American that I supported Trump, and believe me, I don't. So it was
Yeah.
just. But my friends knew, but the
Uh-huh.
ones who didn't know, who saw, see the mask and the hat, they don't know, but they trusted me. So and actually, uh, uh,
Denmark. Mhm.
Pedro De Palma, who is
Uh-huh.
with the band Clean Boys, he's the lead singer, he's
Yes.
bassist. Um, he said that when he warned people 6 months ahead that
Yes.
I was coming. They said, "You've never seen anything like him, and you will never see anything like him again."
Yes. Yes. I like to ask you, what you as being an artist, how important is it to own your masters of your intellectual property? Because there's some agents that come and they try to talk performers out of owning their masters. Is that important to own your own
Yeah,
masters?
absolutely, it is. But
Why?
if somebody wants to make money off me, as long as they give me, they toss me $20 here and there, every 6 months, I'm okay.
Mhm. So it is important to own your masters and to have your intellectual property copyrighted, right?
Yes, absolutely, it is. Absolutely, it is.
Wow, man. And something else I'd like to ask you. You say a manager, it doesn't really matter, but if a person is looking for a manager that is connected in the entertainment field, what should they be leery of, and what should they look for? Because there are a lot of people out there that play manipulative games in terms. So what should they? Is it important to have a manager? I heard you say you don't have a manager. It's not. Is it important or not important? And what are the things to beware of if you do want a manager?
Well,
And
there are a lot of sleazy management people out there. I guarantee that. That's why you hope that they own a car, so you can. They're the lowest form of a slug, so you kind of hope they own a car, so you can. If they screw you over, you can stick a banana in their tailpipe, or you can put oatmeal down their gas tank. Um, that's usually how it works. Or sugar down the gas tank. That'll take care of the line for sure. Uh, I'm telling you, but I don't know. I've been approached a couple times. I've had one guy. I explained to him 4 different times about what I do and how I do it, and he kept trying to get me into these just gigs that I didn't want. Like he wanted me to become a wrestler You know, because I dress like I mean, the way my costume looks like a Mexican boxer, you know.
Oh, Hogan, hey, go ahead.
Right, right. And I said, "There's no way I'm going to get in the ring and jump around and get whacked around because that would hurt me." So
Yes.
he wanted me to do stuff like that. Mostly, I try to sit down and explain to them, you know, what it is that I do and what I want and what I don't want.
Yes.
And I've had people book me into really. It's just really like my band and a couple other bands I know that I've been in, they book us at the wrong places, like bars that we don't even belong in, where people will be howling at us to get off the stage. You know,
Mm-hmm.
in Chicago, there's a few bars like that that I will not go into anymore,
Mm-hmm.
simply because of that alone.
Mm-hmm. Do you happen to know Flabby Hoffman?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
I do.
I know him too. But is it important to have a manager? It doesn't even matter in your opinion.
Um, if you can get gigs on your own, you don't need a manager. But
Okay.
if you want presence, if you want presence, I guess a manager would be good. It can get you into other kinds of doors that you can't get into. And I've had that, as I say, I've had that kind of promise. I've worked with people that have made those kind of promises to me. Oh, then the most they've gotten me is maybe a few more fans, and that's it. But
Yeah.
I've done a lot of things on my own, so
Yeah.
it seems to me that whatever I do works best for me. But I have yet to find somebody that could actually manage me.
Yes, yes. And you know what, brother said. I would like for you to come back on, and you know what, I've been asking you questions for 41 minutes, and is there a particular message that you would like to put out to the people? And please tell people, how do they get in contact with you? How do they book you? How do they buy your intellectual information? Please. Thank
Okay, well, my message is to have an open mind. If you're an artist that, or a musician or a poet starting out, I'd say just keep doing what you're doing. You know, I mean, it took me forever to break in, but I got my break, and then I started doing my own thing. And then, I mean, again, that took me forever, but I'm at a comfortable space now.
you. Hmm.
People want to book me. You can always contact me at info at sidyiddish.com.
Yes.
My number is 847-644-2857. Um, and let me think. Facebook, you can contact me on Facebook. I actually have a fan page on Facebook. And then there's my regular account. You can contact me there. Um, you can send me a message. I'll get it eventually. And I think, and also, I walk, I'm on the streets all the time.
On the
Uh,
north side, right?
I'm in Evanston.
Oh, I thought you was on the north side. Okay.
No, not like North Side 777, but
Okay.
similar. But nope, I'm in Evanston. I'm always carrying CDs with me too. You can check out CD Baby, Amazon, Bandcamp, got stuff there. All kinds of stuff. um,
Hmm.
I did want to thank you for having me on your program.
Absolutely. We've been knowing each other for years. We just never really sat down and really had a conversation like this. So you
Would love to get on your TV show. That's the one. I would love to bring the band onto the TV show.
okay. Okay. We'll do that. We'll do that. Inshallah. And you know what? I'm asking people to that support the Underground Railroad television show and the podcast to, you know what, hire this guy, not just hire him, have him on your show. You know what? Because he's phenomenal. He's an big artist in Chicago and worldwide in Denmark and other places. Have him on, and will you come back to the Underground Railroad podcast?
Oh, you know I will. I definitely will.
You know, I guess I had to throw that in there for a little
Oh,
more,
but of
a
course I will.
little,
Of
little,
course
little.
I will.
Okay, and you know what, man, I appreciate you. Like I said, I've been knowing you for years, and like I said, you've always been very respectful and kind to me, and that I appreciate that. And you a gentleman, and you know what? Listen to. the Candy Store, Henchmen, and he has other groups. Hey, there's one other question. If someone is looking, if someone is looking to break into the business, can you manage them?
Yeah, I got maybe I can definitely give them advice.
If they're good
Yeah,
enough.
as somebody once gave me advice for radio, he said, "There's no money in radio," but um, I could totally consult for them, and if they actually are a musician and they want to do improv and they want to do off the wall kind of stuff, they are welcome to join my band. We just have to listen to what they do and talk to them, and that's how things work.
And I'm going to ask respectfully before you leave, can you please give your contact information one more time, please?
Absolutely. It is. I do have a website, sidyiddish.com.
You got a YouTube site, I know. Go ahead.
Yes, and I'm still working on it. You know, it takes me forever.
Yeah.
My phone number is 847-644-2857. Let me think. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Facebook and X and um, I don't know what Instagram as well. All Sid Yiddish. I'm very Googleable. And so you can Google me if you want to get a hold of me. I'm always somewhere. People do recognize me on the trains and the buses, and when I walk around, in Chicago and here in Evanston and elsewhere where I go,
Yes.
wherever I travel, I'm somehow they know me.
Okay. And you know what, man? This has indeed been a pleasure. And you know what? I should have done this a long time ago, but it was, I guess it just wasn't time yet.
I
But
get it. Oh, I
but
get it.
but I appreciate you and I respect you and brother and keep up the great work. And like I
Thank
say,
you.
people that listen to people on my platform, I'm asking you humbly to support him in what he does in his endeavor. Follow. He has
Um,
more great.
we're also on Spotify. So two of our albums are on Spotify. The two albums that I mentioned, until further notice, Every Day Feels Like Sunday, and then Hard Boiled Eggs. And
Anything on Apple?
what's that?
Anything on Apple?
Yes, we are on iTunes as well.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, once he forwards the links to the description, links to his ventures, I'm going to put that in the description. And you know what? Watch the Underground Railroad podcast, and I hope that you would support our YouTube platform. And brother, I want to thank you very much. And
You're
I
very
say,
welcome. You're very welcome. And to the rest of the world, I know we don't celebrate it, but Merry Christmas to all good children out there, and even the bad ones sometimes. It's okay. They're still good.
yeah,
They just don't mean it.
yeah.
And have a great New Year because I know you're gonna all have a great New Year.
Okay, I thank you, brother. I thank you. May Allah bless everybody, and yeah, assalamu alaikum to everybody. All right, thank you,
All
Sid.
right.
All
Sure,
right,
no problem. No
all right,
problem,
all
Cliff.
right, all right. So you have been looking at the Underground Railroad podcast, and we do a television show in Chicago that comes on every Saturday night at 10:30 p.m. Central Time. And also we go to our YouTube platform and share it. Share it. And if you need video production done in Chicago, use Shay My Video Productions. If the job is too big, hey, I got people that I can recommend you to. Okay, so in the words of